Won't he do it? Yes, he will. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Dr. Will Rogers, a.k.a. Master Teacher 33. And today is Thursday, February the 17th, 2022, and the time is 1 p.m. Central Time. As always, brothers and sisters, I got a powerful message scheduled for today. We're going to talk about the dark side of spirituality. And more importantly, or more specifically, the dark side of the current cosmic reality. From February the 2nd until February the 22nd, we've got a few more days, we're in a specific frequency, wave, verb, or vibration. This specific frequency, wave, verb, or vibration is based upon a cosmic effect of Pluto inside of or coming into this frequency wave vibration. So Pluto is known as the planet of creative destruction and transition. And so when Pluto comes into the frequency where it's a little closer to the sun, it is one of the slowest moving. There are certain effects on your cosmology that affects your theology, which results in affecting your biology. So Pluto's energy brings about a certain spiritual power. It enhances, as we talked about last night, basically the ability for the body to produce additional DMT, the spirit molecule. It activates and brings about a regeneration and transformation and rebirth. So that's what Pluto really symbolizes. So it really is a part of this renewing process. It's a part of this regening process that we all are, have the potential to take part in. So today, we're talking about the dark side of spirituality, which is sensitivity. One of the most important things that as we go through and as you go through life that you got to be aware of is the dark side of being a super being, if you will, being this plasmonic, photonic being that gives you this ability to have superb sensitivity, meaning that you have discernment. And if you're like me, you already have it. Now you got an extra dose of discernment. Now, what is the dark side of discernment? Well, the dark side of discernment is I'm going to use the word sensitive. And so what happens when you are oversensitive is now everything and everyone is a suspect. And so now that this energy that you have, now you're so amped up. You are so sensitive that now that you have hyper sensitivity. And you guys may or may not know, which is why I do not dibble or nor dabble in, a.k.a. the spirit realm, from the perspective of what is promoted by the dominant culture, meaning whatever's on TV, astral projection, kind of like in the movie, Doctor Strange, The Shining, all of those movies that talk about and promote all of the movies with, I'm trying to remember the title of that whole series that really talks about, going into the dark side and hanging out, doing certain things, and then coming back into the light. Dark side simply means the spirit realm. And there's a whole bunch of movies out that encourage, spirit work, dibbling and dabbling in, quote unquote, the underworld or the other world. Kind of like Dark Tower. I told you guys about Legion. You guys remember the movie Upgrade? I told you guys to watch way back in the day, Upgrade. Everybody knows about the old movie, The Exorcist. All of these movies are telling you the same thing. So what does it mean? Just like they have broken down at Project CERN. So in Project CERN, they call it antimatter or dark matter. When you go into the dark side, you always bring something back. Oh, snap. Let me say it again, slowly. When you go into the dark side, whatever the dark side is, anytime you leave the the physical realm, to go into the spirit realm, because you're a physical being. While you're in the physical realm, you're supposed to stay in the physical realm. When you get to that side, okay, you're supposed to stay on that side. It's really interesting because people in this side want to go to that side. People on that side want to get to this side. It's like, you know, if you're short, you want to be tall. If you're tall, you want to be short. If you're black, you want to be white. If you're white, you want to be black. You know, if you got straight hair, you want curly hair. If you got curly hair, you want straight hair. So we all are fascinated, if you will, by the dark side, the other side. So the dark side is always the other side. But the problem is when you go to the other side, you always bring something back with you from the other side. I've talked to many people who've done a lot of DMT, ayahuasca, that, you know, the frog poison and all of these other psychotropic drugs, and they all come back with a deity, if you want to use that term. They all come back with a feeling, if you want to use that term. They all come back with a sense that somebody's watching them. They have this uneasiness. It's a little harder to sleep at night. So that is the dark side of what we do is hypersensitivity. Now, it can go a lot worse, but is it worse? Is it dark, or is it our inability to perceive light? Now, what I'm about to share with you again is it does require a certain amount of understanding of what toxicity is in the dark side of the spiritual plane or spiritual practice. So spirituality is this, you know, I'm not really talking about the holier than thou Christian spirituality. You know, I'm talking about more of this, you know, kind of like repressed, passive, aggressive disconnection that you are, I'm not going to use the word better, but you are aware. And everything has a shadow. Everything. But the shadow is just a perception gone wrong of the light. So what I'm saying to you today is because of your hyper sensitivity, it changes the way, based upon what we talked about yesterday. Everybody on the call today, you don't see the world as it is. You distort the world to fit how you are. Nobody sees the world as it is. Neither I don't, you don't. I'm just aware of it. And so what I do is I challenge my hypergainism. I realize that I'm in a state of hypersensitivity. And I challenge myself to not react in an undesirable way which produces a specific feeling by other people. Now, hypersensitivity is basically this ability that you are so highly sensitive of not only the five senses, but you are hypersensitive to the spirit realm. Simply means you're very intuitive. And because you become so intuitive that now everybody and everything is suspect, you find yourself being a loner. And now you wear that as a badge. It's like I'm better than anyone else because I have awareness and I can see the forest and I can see the trees. So this hypersensitivity syndrome is running rampant in the spirit realm. And so we put off people. We don't even know it. It's crazy because when I see super spiritual people and I see how they carry themselves, myself included, I always have to dumb myself down from the perspective of making myself or making other people comfortable. Now, I know this may be difficult for some because they don't understand. Because people can look and you know how people see, hey, why is this person with that person? Why does this person live that? Why do they work there? Do you know how sometimes when you see somebody, they seem like they are on a higher vibration than the person that they're with, or they don't seem like they fit at that job. You know, they don't drive, they don't seem like they're fit for that car. It seems like their energy doesn't fit. And what you're seeing and what you're witnessing is a individual who is cognitive of their spiritual superpowers, if you want to use that term super and that term power. It just simply means spiritual awareness. Now, let's define before we go on and further so I can explain why people like myself, I put myself in smaller boxes so that way the expansion can take place, but more importantly, the prevention of my hypergainism, so that way I don't get the Napoleon complex, that I don't walk around like I'm God gifts to the planet. So I purposely put myself in environments that are less conducive to my vibrational significance on purpose. Let me say that again, slow, real slow. I purposely put myself in environments that are less vibrationally dense than I am on purpose. This shit is not an accident because of hypergainism. Now, I know that this will be difficult for a lot of you good high vibrational Latibulons because we talk so much about high vibration. We spend a lot of time, talking about love, joy, peace, gentleness, meekness, and self-control. But we don't spend a lot of time talking about the dark side of love, joy, peace, gentleness, and self-control. We don't spend a lot of time talking about the dark side of giftedness. We don't spend a lot of time talking about the dark side of your spiritual significance. We don't spend a lot of time talking about, your isolationism. Why do you have to be isolated? Or why are you alone? I'm not talking about alone more so in the physical than I am talking about alone more so in the spiritual. So what I'm expressing and exposing and expanding you today is that when you are, like we are, everybody on this call, we are spiritual giants. As a spiritual giant, the energy, your perception is distorting reality. Because we are 9 ether beings having a 3 density experience. Let me say that again. You are a 9 ether being, but you are having a 3 ether experience. What that means is that no matter how and where you go, there is no place on this planet where you can go where you don't have to dumb yourself down. I have been to, I don't know. I can't even count how many churches I've been to. I have not found a church where I go into and I feel elevated. I've been in a lot of relationships. I've never been in a relationship where I feel elevated. I've driven a lot of cars. This is the first car I've driven, and even it's wearing off. So that's the dark side of spirit. Spirit is unlimited. You cannot put the spirit in the box. I'm trying to help you, man. This is the most dangerous thing that's happening right now. The dark side of spirituality is you will find yourself alone with your mentality. Why? No one can vibrate on God's level. That's why the big G is outside of this dimension. And right now, until the 22nd, you got an overdose of Plutoism, as I said at the beginning of the show. And now that you got this overdose of regeneration and remember everything that Pluto brings, now it is amplified during this period. So now you are really suffering from hypergainism. You're suffering from hyper-spiritualism. So the dark side of giftedness, spirituality, is you are so spiritual. Now, spiritual, what does that mean, though? Spiritual means awareness. It means consciousness. So that means now I can sense everything. But the problem is my brain can't contain everything, as we already talked about. So now the brain, you are getting over 11 million, according to science, bits of information per second from the spirit world. And the brain is only, you are a 126-bit computer until you activate all 12 strands of your DNA. So now you're getting 126 pieces of information per second. But these pieces of information, they don't fit in this modern way of living. So you feel like, and you make other people feel like, and you ain't even trying to, you just show up and people get pissed off. Why? Well, you cause mental and physical anguish everywhere you go. Why? Because you are what is called disinterested in everybody else's affairs. So all your friends and family and your relatives, they see you as a lone wolf. They see you like you're detached. They say, this Negro think he's better than me. Because you cause other people to have anxiety. Why? Why do people get, yeah, but now, I need you guys to pay attention because remember, it's not free. I notice when I go around people that if I don't dumb myself down, what happens? What happens? Everybody, they get very, very, very they go to a desire-less state. I'm trying to help you. This is the dark side of spirituality. So the dark side of spirituality is it affects everyone else's mentality. Because like we already talked about, let me make sure, let's go back and let me give you a reminder that you have a mind virus. And your mind virus does 5 things. Of those 5 things, for the sake of time, we're just going to talk about the one. Now, we already mentioned about the tax level. What I'm talking about today is distortion. So now you distort negativity to positivity. Ooh, let me say this again slowly. This is what happens everywhere I go. People start talking. And as they're talking, I'm saying to myself, they have a bad day. And I say, damn, what's happening? Man, I had a flat tire on the intersection. Traffic was everywhere. It was hot. I was nervous. I was afraid. And I'm saying to myself, this mother beep is talking about a flat tire. All this shit going on in the world, and they stressed out because they had a flat tire. You don't get now I don't say this out loud, but my energy. So people talk to me about problems. I gotta be, like with my kids, I gotta be very careful. I have to really, really dumb myself down. Cause my kids would call me about, Dad, he did this. What did he do? Well, he was sitting in the garage and he sat in the garage and just, watching the video games and playing video games all day. And I had the kids and we went here, there, and the other, and all he did was play video games all day. And what was it? Well, shit, I don't know. I just want to leave, man. It's just not worth it. You're going to get divorced over what? So what happens is we belittle, unknowingly, other people's feelings. Because remember, we're super beings. We've been to hell already. We've seen bad shit. We've been in the pit, most of us. Now, some of you guys are, but some of us, a lot of us, we looked the devil in the eye already. And we still standing. We've been through hard times. Right, Dr. Spence? Some of us, we grew up. We didn't have no running water. We didn't have electricity. I was talking to the wife today, and I was telling her about, man, it's great that the kids have never had adversity. They don't know what it feels like to lose a loved one. Nobody in their immediate family, they've never shared a room. They've never been without running water or electricity. They've never had adversity. So my heart goes out to them. I'm concerned. My son is, like my bonus son is, 15, driving around in a Mercedes. Do you understand the cost, the price of affluence? I mean, I don't know. I don't think I would want to grow up in an affluent environment. I think that's why I love and I thank the Big G for my ass getting skull drugged from the time I was 5 all the way up until I was 13. When my mama died, that's when I started doing my own shit. So since 13, from 5, far back as I can remember, I was talking to my siblings this morning. I cannot remember my mother's funeral. And they was talking about, what's her name had on the pink socks and white shoes. They all go and they dress together because that was our mom's favorite colors. And I'm talking to my brother and I'm like, what pink shoes? How do you remember the color of somebody's socks? And they was like, yeah, really, you don't remember? Like, no, I don't remember that shit. I said, was I there? Really? Yeah, we all was there. You don't remember? I do. As God is my witness, I have no memories of my mother's funeral. I know I was there physically, but I have no memories. Zero. It's like my brain just blocked it out. Remember, the brain does that to protect you from, That's what I mean by your reticular activating system. I know I was there. I got pictures. I remember because I was outside. The only thing I do remember is I did not go in because I didn't want to see my mom in the coffin. So I stayed outside and I had a basket and I remember and people was looking at me because they were kind of concerned. Obviously, I didn't know and I didn't cry and I was outside throwing a baseball. That's the only thing that I remember. I don't remember the place because I said, damn, but where was the funeral at? See, when you are hyper spiritual, you block out crazy. You can't even, it's crazy, but you don't do crazy because you super spiritual. Now, when I say super spiritual, I mean, I ain't talking about this church shit. I'm not talking, don't get it confused with this religious, Jesus and you speak in Christianese. That's basically, that's just Luciferese. Cause, y'all, well, maybe I don't know Lucifer and Satan and Christianity, they the same. But I've been saying this shit for a long time. And now the shit's going to come out. Now, I'm not saying that now the Jesus before Constantine, okay, if you're talking about that dude, okay, we're good. But if you're talking about from Constantine on, okay, that's Satan. Those two dudes are the same. That's why all of I saw a video from 19-something with your boy Birdman. I think it was Birdman with an Astro jacket on, talking about the Travis Scott event that just happened in 1998 in front of the Astro Dome with an Astro World T-shirt on. He was predicting in 1988 what took place in 2020. Was it 2021? Travis Scott just happened in Houston. How? So that's spiritualism. Spiritualism is awareness of shit that nobody else is aware of. So guess what? You don't get amped up. You can't get. Come on, man. You gonna gaslight me? How you gonna pull it off? Some of y'all are not spiritual enough. Now, remember what I said at the beginning of the show. Anytime you go to the dark side, you bring something back. Number one, that's the biggest problem that happens from hyperganism or hyper-spiritualism. When you go to the dark side, like all the scientists that's quantum at Project CERN, they go into the ether. But when they come back, a piece of antimatter come back with them, and it's evil. They can't control it. It's unpredictable. It do bad shit. They call it black goo. Now, all of the movies you will start seeing, just like Black Rock, you will start seeing black magic. Remember the book that Kobe Bryant wrote? It was a child book teaching them black magic. And after that, the Negro was gone. So, go Google it. ECROF. ECROF, which is the word force backwards. Because they do everything in reverse. They'll tell them about a total, this part of what they call black body physics or black body radiation. That's why the Negro will always be underneath the white man's foot. Because he cannot allow you, black man, to ever figure out that you ain't nothing but a black hole. Anybody ever done and researched black body physics? Anybody? I'm asking for a friend. So, see, you don't know. You can never know. If you ever figure out black body radiation, shit's over. Then you cannot be controlled. Now, I'm talking about the physics. I'm not talking about this religious shit. I'm talking about, do you understand electrical magnetic radiation? You. Do you understand thermodynamic equilibrium? Do you understand that you are a walking, talking, breathing thermodynamic equilibrium device? Do you understand that the frequency of the electrical magnetic radiation, which is the speed of light in the vacuum, creates unlimited energy? That means that you emit unlimited energy. That's why you can put your black ass out in the corn or out in a cotton field, Negro, and you can work all day. As long as the sun is out. As long as you singing. That's why you used to sing them old spirituals, them old Negro spirituals, because the black body emits radiation more than it receives it. But you don't know who you are. So I can't get punked. I'm emitting way more energy than comes in. It's not possible. So that's hypergainism. So what does that mean? So you come to me with information that's coming in. Like, God, bad shit is happening to me, bruh. But the information that I'm sending out trumps the information that you're trying to put in. So you can't win. That's called black body radiation. Now, we're talking physics now. We're talking about religion. So black body physics, which is based upon melanin, we call it carbon, but they're not the same. But it is another study for another time. Because carbon traps all the energy, keeps it in. So the more carbon you got, the more energy that you can contain, process, and express. But you got a problem. You're not expressing, exposing, and expanding. So you are what is called a spiritual glutton. So what happens when you get the balloon gets bigger and bigger and bigger? And so what happens? How do you feel when you're overweight? Anybody? I mean, not overweight. When you overeat. So what happens to the black man and the black woman when they become spiritually, when they are a spiritual glutton? You go to church every day, every day, every day, every day. Now, when you eat a big meal after Thanksgiving, what do? Well, what do? You feel lethargic. You feel aloof. You feel tired. So you go to sleep because you're a glutton. And so most people are spiritual gluttons. That is the dark side of hypergainism, the dark side of spirituality. The dark side of spirituality is you just don't give up about nobody because you full of your spiritual awareness. You research so much shit, you know all of this esoteric stuff. And so you walking around and somebody come to you talking about, brother, do you know that the letter J was invented, 500 years ago? And you've been knowing that shit for 30 years. And they all excited. And they come to you and you like, so you just found out that letter J was invented. It's the latest letter to get to the alphabet. And how old are you again? You 40 years old? You 50 years old? You just found out that the letter J was the last letter added to the English alphabet. So you 40, you 50 years old, and you just found out that letters are symbols and sigils. So the problem for people like me that are, quote unquote, been researching and studying this shit, that I was born into it. The problem is it's very difficult for me to get, I'm going to use the word animated by your calamity. And it's very noticeable. No matter how I try to dumb myself down, if I didn't dumb myself down, shit, I don't got no friends as it is. I'm talking about like die, and I say that not in disrespect to anybody on the call. When I say friends, what is a friend? Like people say, oh man, I'm your friend. Well, no, we all friends. But then there's those, like, road dogs. I'm talking about people that a friend is somebody that know you, and because they know you, they give you grace. That's a friend. A friend is somebody who know your strengths, but they know your weaknesses better. And because they know your weaknesses, when everybody else judge you, talk down to you, disrespect you because they got you on this pedestal, you knew the whole time that T.D. Jakes is not perfect. You knew everybody in the audience is fooled. But do you think T.D. Jakes' children is impressed with T.D. Jakes? Nah. Do you think my children are impressed with me? Nah. My children, they haven't read none of my books. They don't listen to none of my shows. Nah, they ain't supposed to. Same thing with the wife. Remember, this was a cause of one of the main reasons when I left my wife and moved in with somebody else was because my wife did not read none of my books, did not support anything that I do because I had unrealistic expectations. Remember I told y'all that's the greatest lesson I ever learned in my life was that lesson. One of those greatest lessons that I learned. Why? So I was looking for a groupie because I didn't understand the definition of the wife or a friend or a road dog. See, a friend and a road dog, they're not up your butt. They're not buying your Kool-Aid. They don't look at your strength. They look at your weaknesses. A real friend, they know you ain't shit. From the perspective of what? From the perspective of God. So we're supposed to be comparing ourselves to God. We ain't supposed to be comparing ourselves to Creflo Dollar and Joel Osteen. So if I compare myself to another black man, shit, yeah, I'm doing pretty good. From a what? From a spiritual perspective. But if I compare myself to, am I all knowing, all power, all present, all simple, and all love all the time? No, I am not. So compared to God, I ain't shit. But compared to the average Negro walking on the street, oh yeah, I'm a legend. So who you comparing yourself to? Now, let's go and talk about the real deal. What's the real deal, Doc? Well, the real deal is this. Everybody got the gimmick. Everybody has something that they think they need to become spiritual. Spiritual means that you have awareness. The dark side of right now is that your awareness, whatever it is, your version of them that you have created has been amplified from now until the 22nd. What does that mean? So I think, Jim Bob is this. So whatever I think about Jim Bob, my perception of Jim Bob is being enhanced. But my perception of Jim Bob is not reality. My perception of Jim Bob is based upon my mentality. So there's a lot of positive energy, which means there's a lot of distorted perceptions of that positive energy. So positive energy must be met with a positive reception, which brings about a positive perception. What does that mean? So there isn't a dark side. The dark side is our perception. Remember, in the spirit realm, everything is a hermaphrodite. It has male and female gender at the same time. You remember in the series Prophecy? All the angels came down. They had no optics. They had no eyes. Their blood they had no blood like we got. And they have both sexes. They were angels. Remember, the Bible says there's no giving and receiving in marriage. Meaning that there's no need for you because you don't really need that. You're spiritual now. So when I talk about the dark side of spiritualism, is what happens when you go, like I said, but please hear me, man. This is extremely important. In addition to, number one, the black body physics and black body radiation, which I've never heard a black man or black woman say. Now, I've heard a lot of great teachers, but it becomes black when we teach it, meaning that it makes white people feel. Why? Because we make it sound like that white people don't got melanin. White people got melanin. Everybody got melanin. You can't be alive on the earth if you ain't got melanin. Just the way that we process melanin is different than the way that white people process it or Hispanic people. But everybody got melanin. So no, the black man cannot be God just because he got melanin or he got carbon. Everybody got a melanin and everybody got a carbon. But the way by which we process the melanin and the carbon is different. So we can't say that because, again, that shows a lack of spirituality. So the problem is people want to enhance their spirituality, so they get a technique. So what is a technique? Well, one of the techniques is ayahuasca. Another technique is, DMT. Another technique is, certain types of yoga. So all of these techniques, they come from a perception, which says what? God needs assistance. Hold up, time out. What? So God is all knowing, all power, all present, all simple, all love. Hey, he, she, it don't need assistance. So the mere fact that you say, I got to go do blank, why are you doing that? I got to do that because I need to assist God. So what you're saying, God's arms are too short. So when you go do whatever your spiritual enhancement technique is, what you're doing or what you're unknowingly saying to the universe is, it's just like getting a sex change. It's just like getting, a breast implant. God, I like you. I appreciate you, bro, but, you effed up, homie. You made my chi-chis too small. Or, God, I appreciate you. I love you. I worship you. You the man. You the womb, man. But I need to have, breast reduction because you made them too big. Or I need to get nose surgery. Whatever. Everybody got something that they want to change. Why? Perception. So let me be crystal clear once again. All versions of your reality is a distorted mentality of reality to fit your mentality. So that means that you the bad guy. So there's no such thing as the dark side of spirituality. There's a dark side of mentality, meaning that you twist reality because there's only one frequency. There's only Hero Israel, the Lord your God is one. So there is just one energy that's been emitted. But then there is something in your head called a reptile or reptilian. That reptilian, he's going to take that energy that's being sent right now from until the 22nd. Source code is sending unlimited neutrinos to change the nucleus, as we talked about last night, to bring about all of the extra DMT, all of the feel-good chemicals, especially oxytocin and vasopressin and melatonin and serotonin and endorphins, so that way you can create more inner chi or electricity. But it can be manipulated by your brain. So your brain is taking the waves that's being sent by source code, by the prime creator, and is changing it because you believe bad shit happens. There is no such thing as bad shit. It's all in your head. So what does that mean? So whenever we got to run, remember I'm a professional, retired, 50 years experience of destination addiction. Shit get bad, leave. I'm a professional. Anybody want to know about destination addiction? I am your boy. I can teach you everything about destination addiction. How to do it, when to do it, how do you feel when you come back, everything. Why? Because since 5, I've been running. That's why I stopped running. So now I know everywhere I go, I cannot present the true version of myself because it's not going to be accepted. Even now, if I was to present the true version of myself, I would not be accepted. Because I would say something that some of you guys would perceive as being, oh, shit, that's it. That's drawing the line. I can't believe Doc said that, man. I was his boy, man. Doc was my man. I mean, I thought Doc was the bomb.com. The Negro just said he did. What did he just say? And then, click, you gone. Everybody got it. I do too. Thankfully, no matter what it is that somebody can say or do, everybody perceives the world according to their reality, which is what? Their experiences, those 12 things that we talked about yesterday. And of those 12 things that we talked about yesterday, man, time, space, your environment, your morals, your beliefs, everybody has a belief system that they are holding on to that doesn't belong to them because you did not create it. So you need to drop it, but you can't drop it. Why? Your belief system is your identity. That is the work that you should be doing. So when you drop your belief system, that means that you are an empty slate. What does that mean? That means it's like a newborn baby. That is being born again. I did that on January the 1st of 2009. I was born again. I dropped everything that I believed. How did I drop it? I challenged it. How did I challenge it? I asked questions. I believe in Jesus Christ and Him crucified. So what I did, I'm going to research and prove Jesus Christ is crucified. So I started researching. If you believe in Allah, you should prove Allah is God. Because Allah is arm, leg, arm, head. That's Allah. A-L-L-A-H. Arm, leg, arm, head. Allah means the body. That is the Bible, basic instruction before leaving earth. It's all talking about the body. All religions is talking about the Bible, the body. And the body is controlled by cosmic energy, which we're talking about today. But your belief distorts that. Because I just said facts that I got $100,000 if you can prove me wrong. Because I already did the research. That's how I got to where I'm at today. So I talk to people who have not done the research. And when they talk to me about shit that I've researched and proven with real life experiences, just like what I'm starting on March, you know, that TikTok again, when I posted the video about the class doing on March the 1st, this is how you know. Now, David Sinclair, the guy, the Harvard dude, posted pretty much the same shit I said. My video got banned and said it's not. They weren't gonna take it down, but they wasn't gonna allow it to be seen by. It's just private. Basically, only I can see the video. Why? Do you know what I said in that video? I told you guys, and they told me that the video was banned due to unrealistic claims. What was the unrealistic claims? The title of the video was entitled "The Science of Longevity." That's exactly what the Harvard white dude said. His video is still up. Now, in defense, my video is still up, but according to TikTok, it cannot be shared, promoted, because it is making exaggerated and unrealistic claims. It was the same thing that got me kicked off of YouTube. It's something about biology they don't want you guys to know, that I know, that I'm trying to get you to see. That's spirituality. So when you go to help God, you bring back a distorted view of God. How do you help God? Anything that you do that is not biological is your way of trying to help God. So soteriology, you guys remember that show that I did on soteriology? And I entitled that show, I think it was about the depopulation, the state of depopulation. I think I posted that one on my YouTube channel. Depopulation. Do anybody know what that means? So spirituality is depopulation. The dark side of spirituality is you are going to go help God, and it's going to lead to your death. Now, when I say death, what do I mean? It's going to lead to you not existing on this plane. You will not be able to put on immortality. So you got to die, D-Y-E, come back again. Even on my YouTube channel, I have two YouTube. It's like I have a shadow YouTube channel. YouTube is crazy. So I go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/master33, and it just shows videos from 10 years ago. And I've been posting, I have a whole nother YouTube channel that's underneath. Nobody else I can find that have two YouTube channels of the same name. It's weird. I don't even know how to change it or combine the two YouTube channels into one. I got two YouTube channels that are youtube.com/masterteacher33. If you go to the YouTube channel, I don't know if you see the video I posted yesterday, the science of longevity and reverse aging. Maybe you see it, maybe you don't. I don't know. Don't really care, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about with spiritual work. So I talked about, I did a video called soteriology, which means soter means save, ology means words, and the depopulation agenda and ritual mass mind control. That's the spiritual realm. So when you go there, something comes back with you. When you use DMT, because your body already produces it, something comes back with you. Now, they call it black goo. Project CERN calls it antimatter. You know, I call it a distorted view that makes good evil. The devil takes what God meant for good and uses it for evil. What is evil? Evil is E-V-I-L or L-I-V-E. You live in a distorted reality. That's evil. You perceive good as bad because it messes with your head. That means that you see shit that's not there. Remember, in all the scary movies, the demons, the ghosts, the goblins, all the stuff, they don't really hurt you. You hurt yourself. You see something, you take off running, blam. You run into a car, you run into a tree or something. Remember, because they're spirits. A spirit can't touch you. You can touch yourself. A spirit is a sprite. It's a disembodied spirit. It's energy. It needs you. It needs your body. It needs you to do the bad work for it, because it can't do the work. It can't get in your head. So what happens if you keep crazy out your head? That's hypergainism. That's hypersensitivity. That is the dark side of spirituality. What is the dark side of spirituality? The dark side of spirituality is your mentality. What is your mentality? Your mentality is, bad shit's going to happen to me. How? It can't. It doesn't exist. There is no such thing as a pothole. Well, what is a pothole? Because I just saw one in the road, Doc. A pothole is the absence of a thing. A pothole is not a thing. It's not a place. It's not a person. It is the absence of a person, place, or thing. A pothole is not a noun. Darkness is not a noun. What is darkness? Darkness is the absence of light. If there's a light switch on my wall. If I turn off the beam light, darkness is here right now, but how come you can't see it? Because the light outshines the darkness. If you take dirt out of the ground, it creates a hole. If you put the dirt back in the ground, there is no mother beep hole. Where did it go? It don't exist. So all the shit that you're going up against and you're fighting, every problem in your life, it doesn't exist. It only appears to exist because you remove the solution. What is the solution? I am all knowing. I'm all power. I'm all present. I'm all simple. And I'm all love. There's only one frequency, wave, and vibration. It is distorted by thought that makes you go do shit to enhance shit. That's how you cause all your problems. God does not need your help, bruh. So what are you saying, Doc? We supposed to sit back, eat Popeye's chicken sandwiches, and watch TV? Walk around with our skinny jeans on? That's what we're supposed to do? Hell no. What you supposed to do? You're supposed to have a proper mother self-image. Hold up. Time out. Say it again. See, all problems come from an improper image of yourself. If you saw yourself as an individual expression of God on earth, you would scare the hell out of everybody in your family, including yourself. Don't believe me? Try it. Watch what happens. Try it. You will become undismissible. You will become unreplaceable. You will become so valuable. Your talent will be so powerful that nobody can dismiss you. Can nobody dismiss me? Why? My family, none of them fools like me. But they got to call me. Why? I'm not the one that can solve their problems. I'm about 80 pounds over my normal weight. And I ain't got no health issues other than freaking rash on my skin because of all the poop that's trying to get out. So the question that you should be asking is why? No matter what they do to try to limit me on the internet, I check my PayPal account every day and more money, more money, more money. Why? I'm just doing exactly what I told you guys to do. I've been begging y'all to do the same thing. It is so easy, but it's hard. Because why is it so hard? Because there are no problems. So we make shit hard. How do we make it hard? We make it hard because we believe you got to work hard. I do not work hard, brothers and sisters. I do a 30-second video now, or like I did on YouTube yesterday. I posted on YouTube. People email me, they call me about the information in the video. I point them in the right direction to get more information. In exchange for my information, they pay me. You can do the same things with T-shirts. You can do the same thing with hair products. You can do the same thing with vitamins. You can do the same thing with what is your design? What is it? I was talking about my cousin from down in Richmond named Trey. So I was doing her Dear Canary report, working on her Dear Canary report today. So I kind of knew just from her personality. So I didn't know that her life path number is a 1. That's why she's a very independent, resourceful leader. That's why she stands out of all the people, all my family, especially on my mom, which is my stepmom on Betty Sue's side. There's a whole bunch of greens down there, whole bunch of them. And out of all of the family members, the one person that really, really stands out is a person out of the two people. My little sister Shayna and my cousin Trey. And I know why they stand out. Because they're designed by God to stand out. So if Trey don't know that, she can't be that. That's all I do every day. I assist people with a proper self-image. Because everybody, the dark side of spiritual, the dark side, really the dark, evil side of being spiritual is a faulty self-image. Because if Trey doesn't see that she's a independent resort, she's a 101. That is a leader of God, an ambassador of God, an individual expression of God on earth, just like you. When you got those numbers in your chart, my numbers are not 101, they're 336. But the way that I am a leader or an ambassador, which means representative of God. Everybody on this call, please, I'm begging you, from today forward, never say to yourself you are anything else other than a representative of God on earth. It is difficult to say that you are God on earth because we have something that we've been trained by the dominant culture as flaws. Because you go around your family and they say, you do this. You're not tall enough. You're not skinny enough. Your hair isn't blonde enough, or your jeans ain't tight enough. Whatever the dominant culture, whatever y'all Negroes, I mean, not you personally, but them other Negroes, watch on TV. Now, next week, it'll be baggy pants and pointed shoes or square-toe shoes. It's so interesting to me that people change their identity based upon the dominant culture or shit they see on TV. This is crazy. It's crazy that, now when you are under 21, I get it. But there are Negroes that are 40 and 50 years old walking around doing whatever they see on TV. I'm talking about there's grown men, black men. There's Negroes out, you see Russell Westbrook and you see a lot of people in the NFL. These grown men. But where do they get that from, though? They got it from the dominant culture. The dominant culture is the Luciferian culture. Because what is the dominant culture? Where do they get their culture from? They don't get it. They don't get their identity from their design. Their name, their date of birth, their blood type, their place of birth, environment. Did you get your identity from there? If not, that is the dark side. That's what evil is. Evil is a distorted view of yourself. So the dark side of spirituality is you've amplified a distorted view of yourself. You have unknowingly, I did it too. I know what I'm talking about. For the first 50 years of my life on this planet, This is really sad, man. I think about it, man, and it's like, woof. It's sad. That's when I have to pull over the side of the road and, put on my Gladiator soundtrack, my Braveheart soundtrack, or The Last Samurai. Y'all ever listen to The Last Samurai? The soundtrack from the movie The Last Samurai? Go to YouTube, type in Last Samurai soundtrack, and then just listen to it. And just sit in a dark place and just listen to the soundtrack of The Last Samurai. Most of the music by Hans Zimmer, listen to his music. See what happens to the spirit. You see, brothers and sisters, like the voltage in your cells is being drained. All I'm doing is just returning volts back to your cells on a cellular level. That's spirituality. And when all of your voltage is returned and kept, I do not give away my volts. That's why I don't vote. I keep my VOLT. That's why I don't VOTE. So my VOLT has age. But for the first 50 years of my life, I gave away my VOLT because I didn't know. That's why I had no value. So once you know that you have value, your value comes from your identity with your cells, because your cells is yourself. So the dark side of hypergainism and spirituality is there's only positive energy. But this positive energy that is being sent by the petard, my perception distorts it. And I perceive it now as evil. Why? Because it doesn't fit my image. Because I unknowingly have not allowed myself to identify with myself. So what did I unknowingly do? What did you unknowingly do? Well, we all have somewhere, somehow, you have been tricked by someone else into not being yourself. Somewhere. I can find it. If I talk to you long enough, I can find it. You went to T.D. Jakes, Creflo Dollar, Joel Osteen, you went and got you something to rely on, and you are relying upon something else other than the self. Now, you're going to have tears. You're going to tell me, Doc, the Wim Hof breathing technique is great. My brother, praise Jesus. You don't understand. And you sold your soul to Wim Hof. Anyone and anything that you put before the self, like it said in the Gospel of Thomas, precedes the self. Remember, when you read the Gospel, I love the Gospel of Thomas. Out of all the ancient texts I've read, and I've read a lot of shit. The Gospel of Thomas is this non-canonized book that was discovered in the Nag Hammadi text over in Egypt back in, 1945 in the Qumran cave? You guys remember that? And the Gospel of Thomas says, verse 3, after the whole marvel, well, let's go read it. Gospel of Thomas, chapter 1, verse 2, Jesus said, those who seek should not stop seeking until they find. When they find, they will be, number one, disturbed. Are you disturbed today? When they are disturbed, number two, they will marvel. Anybody watch Marvel Comics? That's where Marvel Comics get all their stuff from. So, number one, is anybody disturbed? Number two, is anybody just marveling? You're just sitting around like, what the is going on? Anybody ain't got that disposition? Number three, and they will reign over all. After they have reigned, they will find, number four, rest. So I'm in a state of rest because I went through all three stages already. But I remember I got there when I was 50. Some of you guys I'm talking to, you're 30. And you're saying to yourself, damn, man, that's kind of hard on us, man. No, brother, you got 20 more years. It's okay. Take your time. Shit, it took me 50 years to figure this shit out. That's why I keep telling you, everybody on this call, you are light years ahead of me. Light years. So nobody on this call should feel like, damn, doctor talking bad. No, brother. Actually, I admire you. I wish to God that I was at your level where you are right now. I wish I was asking the questions that you're asking at your age. I wish I had connected with somebody like me at your age. I wish to God I had done that. I didn't. Why? I was chasing the poo nanny. I was chasing that dollar bill. They used to call me Dollar Bill Will. I was chasing that money. Stop playing. You think I'm going to sit down and listen to somebody? Man, every guru I was listening to, it was rich. I was not chasing spirituality. So, brothers and sisters, everybody on this call is your light years ahead of me. But verse 3 says this. Jesus said unto them, if your leaders say to you, look, the Father's kingdom is in the sky, then the birds of the sky will precede you to the kingdom. If they say to you, look, the Father's kingdom is in the sea, then the fish will precede you rather than looking around. The Father's kingdom is within you, and it is outside of you. So it is breaking down. It is breaking down that we are all making the same mistake. What is that mistake? We are looking outside of ourselves for something that can only be found inside. Because it goes on to say, it says, when you know yourselves, Gospel of Thomas, chapter 1, verse 3, continuing, when you know yourselves, then you will be known. You see, brothers and sisters, I've been saying this for the last, hardcore, last 10 years. And I'm getting ready to go harder in the paint. Y'all think I've been going hard in the paint? Oh, man, I'm going hard in the paint now. Because it says, when you know yourselves, then and only then, you will be known. And you will understand that you are children of the living. Y'all got the dead Jesus, I got the living one. I mean, not you personally, but you are children of the living Father. But if you do not know yourselves, then you will live in poverty, and you are that poverty. Poverty, brothers and sisters, is the absence of knowledge of the self. That's why I don't give a shit what y'all do. Everybody got, man, just Wim Hof breathing techniques. You got, sun gazing. You got Tai Chi. It's freaking, you got yoga. If you're a vegan, you do all of this shit. That's awesome. And you're going to do shit for your spirituality. You have a distorted view. You think that is spiritual. That shit's not spiritual. Spiritual is knowledge of the self. All that you need is your Dear report. That's why I keep telling you guys. I'm going to go back to the basics. Thank you, Big G. That thought just dropped in my head right now. I got to go back to this. I do a lot of shit. I got to go back to just talking about Dear reports and the life management system. I have written so many books. I have all types of series. I don't know how many series that I've done. Everything from freaking build a business, theosophy, nutrition, what else? Labor of Love Report, Kingdom Midnight Training Center. I've done all of these series. But at the end of the day, the only message that I should be doing is the one problem that everybody got. Nobody, myself included, because if I really, really, really was the spiritual guru, I wouldn't be talking about nothing else except how to get the knowledge of the self. That's in the Dear Canary Report, which is why I've been doing that Dear Canary Report. No matter what I do, I always go back to Dear Canary Report and the Life Management System. Everybody on this call, we all should be promoting that. You should be offering it to all your friends and all your family. Because just like it says in the Gospel of Thomas, the dark side of spirituality is the absence of knowledge of yourself. Because that distorts. Because remember, your distortion comes because you are not seeing the world with the right lens. It's like looking at the world in a pair of shades. Some of you guys have amber glasses on. Everything is yellow. Some of you guys have red glasses tint on. Everything is red. You're angry. Some of you guys got blue glasses on. And you looking out, and you got these shades on. Those are not your eyes. You put that shit on, it's called a belief. And so you're looking out into the world, and you're like, damn, how come everybody's out to get me? Or how come everybody, whatever you see the world as, is because you got that set of lens on. Somebody see everything is yellow because you're 3. Somebody see green, you're 4. Somebody see, kind of the light blue, turquoise because you're 5. Somebody see the dark blue because you're 6. Somebody see the, purple brownish color, burgundy because you're 7. Somebody see the dark purple because you're 8. Some of you guys see the world pink because you're 9. Some of us see the world black and white because none of those colors are in your shine. That's how you know that the world that you see is distorted. If you see the world as being good and evil, you drunk and ate from the wrong tree. That is the dark side of spirituality. The dark side of spirituality is good and bad. That's called duality. You see the world as it's a black or white, Doc. It's either up or down. No, my brother. You need to eat from the tree of life, not the tree of knowledge. Everybody's running around trying to get more knowledge. The only thing that you and I need is knowledge of self. So my brothers and my sisters, when you have knowledge of yourself, it is okay because nobody else has that. Nobody. Nobody on the planet sees the world the way you do because nobody has the exact same numbers as you, and the exact same time of birth as you, and the exact place of birth as you, and the exact blood type of you. So everybody's different. So the Gospel of Thomas says in verse 4, Jesus said, the person old in days won't hesitate to ask a little child 7 days old about the place of life, and that person will live. For many of the first will be last and will become a single one. Many of the first will be last and will become a single one. Verse 5, Jesus said, know what is in front of your face, and what is hidden from you will be disclosed to you. For there is nothing hidden that will not be revealed, and there is nothing buried that will not be raised. Know what is right in front of your face. You don't need no technique. You don't need no guru. You need to know you. Know what is right in front of your face. We are running out to buy this and this new technique and this new this and this new that. The big G is omni-simplistic. All the shit as you will see on March the 1st, you're going to be shocked. You're going to say, that's all you do? That's it. I mean, it's simple. The big G is always simple. Complex shit is always Luciferian. If you got 15 steps to your program, you need a new program, bro. It should be 3 steps or less. So my brothers and my sisters, remember, it is okay for you to, now when I say dumb yourself down, don't get it twisted. Dumb yourself down means what? Be your damn self. That's what I'm about, dumb yourself down. See, I got to dumb myself down around everybody. Why? I'm sorry, I love you. I appreciate you, but I cannot be who you want me to be. I got to be me, boo. But we just need you to be. No, that ain't in the cards, bro. So the next question is, okay, who are you? Well, I'm a 336. So I will always be a very creative creator that loves compassion. And I can go around to the rest of my attributes and characteristics. So when I say I dumb myself down, that means I go and be authentic. It ain't got shit to do with lessening myself. It means I become more of myself. So whenever I'm around family, friends and anybody, I got to dumb myself down. Because I ain't trying to pick up nobody else's bad habits, bad attributes and characteristics. I ain't trying to be no TD Jakes or Creflo Dollar. Now, they got attributes. They got them. There's only one TD Jakes. Well, there's only one. There's only one W.E. Rogers. So I want to be me. So when I say dumb myself down, I mean that what I am doing is I'm being authentic. Somebody might say, well, brother, could you be less creative? Could you be a little bit less compact? Now, bro, this is where I'm wired. I'm doing the shit that is right in front of me. I ain't trying to be nothing more or less. So thank you, but swipey, no swipey. That means access denied. That means know what is in front of your face. Then what is hidden will be disclosed to you. See, that's why I can always tell somebody that don't know themselves, but they're walking around trying to be someone else. Brothers and sisters, it is an honor and a privilege to be able to break bread with you today, like every day. As always, brothers and sisters, I love you, and there ain't nothing you can do about it. We're going to see y'all at the top. God bless.